Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Today, I'm going to talk about the JFrog Xray and the advanced security features that we have launched in the JFrog platform. Before we begin, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Gautam Neerukonda. I'm currently working as Senior Solutions Engineer at JFrog. My role here is to understand customers' initiatives as well as help them onboard the JFrog platform so that they get the best out of it. Now, today's agenda is going to be on a quick introduction on OSS software supply chain attacks and how to gain visibility into your software components. At the same time, we'll be talking about how a DevOps solution can be implemented with binaries as the single source of truth, and how JFrog is going to be enabling the workflow for you guys. And at the same time, we will also look at the enhanced software composition analysis tools that we have introduced, as well as the holistic approach to secure the enterprise applications using the JFrog Advanced Security Pack. As a quick introduction, the open source packages are everywhere, no matter whether it is a brick and mortar shop or a big e-commerce tech giant. We are seeing that everyone is relying on the software, which is open source and free, to build their software applications much quicker and get to the market as quickly as possible. At the same time, due to this consumption of these open source components, there's a good chance that a lot of malicious packages or insecure packages or license non-compliant packages might enter into your. This is where a lot of emphasis has been changed. And a focus is being laid on how the software supply chain is composed of, and securing it and maintaining the integrity of it is the biggest challenge that all of my customers are facing right now in the field. Now, when it comes to open source components, you might consider that your first party code, the proprietary code that your developers are building, is the only thing that you need to be worried about. But as you can see, this is just a tip of the iceberg. There are a lot of APIs, libraries, frameworks, base application frameworks, operating system dependencies that your organization might be relying on in order to build the software that you're ultimately shipping to your customers or running in your production. So today we are going to see how you can get better traceability and visibility into this software supply chain, and what are the tools that are available in the JFrog platform to secure them. Now, if you have any questions while I speak about these topics, please feel free to use the chat, and we'll try to address the questions towards the end. This is a very time-oriented webinar that we have right now. Now, coming to the quick background on how the software supply chain attacks have evolved over the time. Now, traditionally, if you look at how attackers have evolved, the types of tools that they use, as well as the targeted attacks that they perform, previously it used to be a very focused attempt on compromising the data at a given organization by basically performing reconnaissance and then finding out some of the pitfalls or backdoors that are available and penetrating to them. But more recently, due to the wide adoption of open source libraries and packages and frameworks, it has become a very much easier effort to target software supply chain, because most of the times, if there's a given exploit that has been introduced for a given log4shell vulnerability, or text4shell or Spring framework vulnerability, it's pretty much easy to find a like a quick exploit toolkit or a script kiddie based toolkit that can be introduced or tried out on the target application. So very low technical skills are required, but at the same time, you can have a high spread attack, and at the same time, you can compromise the data at a very large scale using this open source vulnerability based attacks. So that's where the rise in these attacks are coming from, and that's where the emphasis on securing your software supply chain is arising. Now, if you look at the entire DevOps workflow from plan to code, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and monitor, the main entity that is actually getting shipped across these lifecycle changes in your DevOps workflow is the actual binary or the artifact. Now, once the build process is completed out here in the build phase, you get the actual binary that is actually getting tested, vetted, qualified, and then finally a release candidate will evolve out of the process using your automation, and then you will deploy it into the production. So what we are recommending here is to unify your software management and have full traceability and visibility into your software supply chain using the JFrog platform. And one of the key components in the JFrog platform is Artifactory, which is a universal binary repository manager that can help you store all types of packages that your organization is relying on, both in terms of third-party open source packages or dependencies, or the proprietary packages that you have built using this open source as a dependency. And the proprietary package that you're qualifying through the various stages also can be stored inside Artifactory with the full metadata integration. So let's take a look at a quick background on what Artifactory can do to address the first layer of visibility, which is capturing all the dependencies that you're using in your organization and maintaining a single system of record. Now, when it comes to the first and foremost challenge, organizations develop software using various technologies, Java, .NET, Python, Go. We support 30+ package technologies so that you can store artifacts of any extension as well as any stack that your application is composed of. You can store it inside Artifactory. We also support generic repositories where any file extensions can be stored. We also provide you with the full metadata integration, wherein right from the inception of the given artifact, what are the given dependencies it has consumed? What are the list of system environment variables that depict the conditions under which the given artifact has been built? We maintain that information. Once you have shipped the artifact into your dev, QA, staging, and production environments, what are the readiness tests or promotion eligibility that the artifact has qualified through or disqualified through? We maintain the full system of record as well. Now, when it comes to an organization developing software, there might be multiple teams, there might be different technologies, different environments. We also keep track of the statistical information on what is the consumption and impact a given open source library is going to have when it is found with a vulnerability or licensing issue by using our statistical metadata that we capture. So that's where Artifactory comes in as a base tool that you need to onboard to start getting the visibility and traceability into your software supply chain. And this is a best tool because no matter what the technology that you use, we support housing those third-party binaries as well as your first-party libraries or applications that you produce. When it comes to Xray, the main advantage is it is natively integrated with Artifactory, which is our binary repository manager. So it utilizes all of this metadata that Artifactory contains to deliver a very deep, recursive, and comprehensive impact analysis. So as a baseline, it can support any software, and you can store your containers, Docker images, Maven dependencies, NPM. There's a big list of technologies that we support scanning using Xray. We will be also sharing some resources towards the end of this webinar along with the actual recording, so you can refer to them to get the full list. If you have any specific packaging technology that you're looking for, please feel free to post that in the chat and we'll try to address it. As I mentioned, we give you full visibility into the software supply chain because Artifactory, as a single source of truth, will be serving any artifact needs right from your developer to your build tools as well as your release deployment orchestration tools. So we know what is the software consumption and where exactly and how exactly it is being consumed at every step in your DevOps implementation. So we'll talk more about how the visibility can be extended, and wherein you can also enforce the dependencies entering your organization and implement a DevSecOps gatekeeping in your organization. Shortly, when I switch to the demo, I'll talk about these capabilities. Now, also something that you need to keep in mind is when you have certain number of alerts coming out of a tool, you need to prioritize certain alerts, depend on the criticality of the given alert. You need to prioritize it and make some actions or follow a violation workflow. So it makes it further easier with Xray and Artifactory working together as a team, maintaining this metadata around every artifact and its consumption level, that you can determine if a given low severity incident is found in a dev environment, you might not be actually impacted by the given dependency. So you might ignore the given violation for time being. Whereas if a critical violation is found in production or staging, and that has contextual applicability to it, this is where you ring all the bells, create Jira tickets, follow a violation workflow to trigger relevant actions to be performed by DevOps engineers, security engineers, as well as the developers, who are the ultimate stakeholders in the process to implement the change. As I mentioned, we have full visibility into every environment and how the software components are being consumed and developed. Now, you can control the security posture by using our fine granular policy engine, wherein you can define what type of alerting and what type of action needs to be taken place when a given violation is found. So we have also recently enhanced our policy engine to have context-based policy rules being triggered. So that also helps you further reduce the noise and focus on the alerts that actually needs to be taken care of. Now, when it comes to the JFrog platform, as most of you might be already aware of, we provide with universal integration, using which you can integrate any CI/CD DevOps tool that you might have in your organization. And we support very wide REST API coverage. And we also provide you with a lightweight command line utility tool called JFrog CLI, which is a wrapper around our REST API calls that further makes it easier to integrate with the JFrog platform and leverage all the JFrog platform capabilities, including Artifactory and Xray. Again, for starters, we support both SaaS as well as self-hosted deployments, and we are one of the only solutions that support multi-cloud and hybrid deployments as well. So even Xray and Artifactory supports the same model. Now let's take a quick look at a demo on how Xray performs the deep recursive scan, and at a base level, what a policy and watch will look like inside the JFrog platform. Again, I'll be logging into one of the demo unit here, and if need be, and if you're interested in exploring how the tool looks like and feels like, you can also subscribe to our free tier Artifactory instance. The link is in the chat. You can use that link to start free with Artifactory and explore our platform capabilities. So here is the quick overview of various capabilities that I'm going to talk about at a base level that are mainly available with the base JFrog Xray tool that you might be already aware of. Just to make sure that everyone in the webinar, prospects as well as customers, are comfortable, I'll be talking about some base level onboarding that you need to be doing inside the JFrog platform. So this is my demo unit, and I have my JFrog platform out here. All the Artifactory capabilities are available here, and Xray being natively integrated and part of the JFrog platform, you can access the artifacts as well as the scan results from Xray both at the same place inside the JFrog platform. The first and foremost step is to onboard various repositories. Again, we have three main types of repositories. local repos where you store your proprietary artifacts, remote repositories that can proxy cache various public registries, virtual repositories that can aggregate both local and remote sources under one single URL so that it is easier for the CI tools and developers to onboard artifact repositories. Now, the first and foremost best practice I have here that I recommend to customers is to make sure that you use both the local and remote repositories and streamline the consumption of these open source artifacts by enforcing a rule that all the developers should consume these open source dependencies through the artifact remote repositories. In that way, you have the first layer of defense or first layer of visibility on what are the open source public registries that your developers are consuming the dependencies from, and what are the packages that are being cached every day by your developers, by your CI tools as well. Okay. We have very fine granular RBAC control by using the JFrog projects and the authentication provider support that we have. We support SAML SSO, OAuth SSO. Of course, I'm going to skip those steps. Once you have initial repository setup, the next step is to enable the Xray scanning with Xray. Sorry, using the indexed resources tab here. You have to go to the administration tab, Xray settings, and click on indexed resources. So this is the place where you can select all of your repos that needs to be scanned by Xray. Keep in mind, Xray performs a continuous scan on every build or repository that you enable the scan for, wherein even if today you have qualified the given artifact to be consumed in your organization because it is passing through the licensing or security or operational criteria that you have defined, down the lane in 10 days or 20 days, before you actually deploy the artifact to production or promote it to further upstream stages, there might be new set of vulnerabilities or licensing issues that are found that you might not be aware of. So traditionally, other solutions might give you snapshot scans or require you to perform manual scans every time you want to check for licensing, security, and operational risk status of a given artifact. Whereas in case of Xray, we maintain the results up to date by refreshing the scan results every day automatically for you. Also, whenever a new artifact is uploaded into the existing artifact repositories that are enabled for scans, we immediately trigger an automated deep recursive scan that will also take care of publishing the scan results of newly uploaded artifacts automatically. So this is something that is unique in terms of Xray's continuous scan that you might find in the JFrog platform. Okay. Now, once you have enabled the indexing, you will be viewing the scan status or indexing status, wherein you will see how many number of open source components that are found in the given repository.
Pardon me, Gautam, do you mind sharing your screen? I believe we're seeing your slides at the moment.
Okay. Are you seeing my screen now?
We're still on the slide.
Oops. Okay, sorry about that.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so just as a quick recap, I have logged into the JFrog platform and I have looked into the artifact repositories, packages, and builds. And at the same time, I was viewing the Xray scan results in the Xray tab. So everything is part of the JFrog platform. And we have just gone into the administration tab, Xray, settings, and we have selected few repositories to be scanned by Xray. Okay. Now, the next step is to create policies and watches. So the policies have multiple rules within them, using which you can define what sort of alerting and actions needs to take place whenever a given violation is found in a given repository or build project. Now, once I click on new policy button here, you will be offered with three types of policies: security, licensing, and operational risk. Let's take as an example, I want to define a policy for Alpha team. And this is a security policy for production environment. Again, you can review our best practices and onboarding documents on how we have full visibility into various repositories and have dedicated registries for each environment, dev, QA, staging, and production, and dedicated repositories for each team, team A, team B, by using our JFrog projects. This is something that you can take it as a follow-up item, but let me just click the new rule button and create a new rule. So here I want to block all critical violations that are found in the production environment. So I have named the rule critical_block. Here I can select the severity level, whether it is low, medium, high, or critical. We are following the CVSS V3 scoring here, or you can also select the CVSS score using the number range. For example, I can select CVSS 8.9 to 10 is treated as critical in my organization. Now, you can select various automated actions based on the violations that are found. You can trigger a webhook. You can send notifications to the developer or the security admin or the policy editor who has just created this policy. So this is how you keep everyone alerted and stay on top of these alerts based on the criticality level. For example, if this was a minor or low severity violation in the dev environment, I would have just enabled the email notification to the developer. Whereas in this case, because I'm finding a critical issue in the production for the alpha app, I'm just enabling all the alerts to the security admin, to the developer, as well as the policy editor. Now, these are the set of alerts or actions that are available as a part of the DevSecOps capabilities that we offer. You can block the download or consumption of a given artifact. You can also block the consumption of it unless it is completely scanned. Or you can also block the release distribution. This is a release bundle capability that we have in the JFrog platform to deliver tightened down contents or locked down contents as a single immutable entity to your customers. You can also use the release bundle distribution. This is the option to block the release bundle delivery when the given artifact is not qualifying through the criteria. Similarly, you can create multiple rules within your policy using which you are defining what set of automated actions to be taken care or to be taking place. Now, if I look at a licensing policy, it will look something like this. I have various groups of licenses. Based on the recommendation from my legal compliance team, I have defined this list, and I have also enabled various types of actions based on the licensing certificates that are detected in the open source components. If I edit a given rule in my licensing policy, you can also see that we have a similar pattern to select the selection criteria. And if a given open source component is found with more than 2 licensing certificates, what type of actions you want to take, you can also select it by using this menu option. If a given open source component also has unknown license type, what of action that you want to take, you can determine by selecting these 2 checkboxes. Now, when it comes to the automated actions, we have a similar menu. You can either send alerts or create Jira tickets. We have a native Jira integration, by the way, both in terms of security as well as licensing policies. Or you can do the enforcement or gatekeeping by blocking the download or failing a given build or blocking the release bundle distribution. The third type of policy, which we have recently introduced just 6 months ago, is the operational risk-based policies. If a given open source project is not being maintained actively, or there's a high risk associated with it, again, we are trying to align with the SLSA standards that Google is coming up with. Right now, these are the following custom conditions that you can enable as well. For example, if the given open source component has reached end of life, or if the current release that you're using is greater than 6 months old, or there are more releases after the current version that you are utilizing. If the release cadence is less, basically, if the open source project is no longer being maintained by the community, then this is something that you need to be aware of and take relevant actions, right? number of commits are less, right? So these are various conditions that you can define as well, based on which you can create violations inside Xray. And the same set of automated actions are available in case of an operational risk policy as well. Now, once you have created all of your policies, they are readily available as templates that you can reuse across multiple environments, applications, or teams. That's where watches will come into the picture. A watch can be treated like a SecOps watch or a security administrator's watch. This is mainly helpful for the AppSec admins if they want to take a close tap into what open source components are being utilized by a given team or environment or application. And at the same time, they want to define certain policies to be utilized while watching the given application. They can do all of those controls using the Xray watches. If I click on a new watch, immediately it will populate a menu. Now let's just call it as Alpha Production Watch. Remember, I have created a policy for watching the Alpha production for security. So similarly, I have multiple policies that I've created in the previous menu. So I can click on Manage Policies and start adding the previously created rules or policies that are readily available as templates. So I'm adding a licensing policy, security policy, and operational risk policy. Now, this is the place where I need to select the relevant repositories that the Alpha team publishes their production-ready artifacts to. So I can either select the repositories, and let's just take as an example that I have demo Maven and Docker prod repos. And I can also use some include-exclude patterns or additional filters based on name, path, property, metadata associated with the given artifacts, and click the Save button. So once I click the Create button here, this watch will be created with these policies in mind. The following repositories or build projects will be scanned for any violations. And if the policy criteria is met, the relevant alerts will be shipped and the relevant enforcement will be done on the given project accordingly. Again, we recently added project-based RBAC control for Xray as well. So if you have security administrators that are closely watching a given project, they can be given relevant permissions in the given project. So we have more security-based roles as well, who can manage Xray data, who can manage reports, who can manage policies and watches, who can ignore violations globally, who can just read the policies and the criteria present in them. Everything is available as a ready-made option. Couple of menu options that you need to be really aware of as you onboard Xray and trying to get visibility into your software supply chain and view the violations that are found in them. The scan list menu option will basically show you all the repositories as well as all the builds, packages that are scanned by Xray, and their status can also be seen inside the scan list. By the way, this is the new operational, security dashboard that we have launched. In that way, this is more focused towards showcasing the Xray scan results, and the UI look and feel is much more revamped so that security admins can find the relevant information that they need with a few clicks. Now, if you want to view the packages, repos, and subfolders and their scan results, you can use the scan list menu. Whereas if you want to view the violations that are found in each environment and see the violation workflow that is being followed and ignore certain violation or perform some operations on top of a violation, that's where you can use the watch violation tab. The third main option that is mainly helpful for auditing purposes or security AppSec teams is the reporting capability. If in case you are looking to generate a high-level report on how a given environment or application is standing or a given build is standing, you can use the reports tab to generate the reports. And we also have export utility in PDF, CSV, and JSON formats that you can utilize. By the way, we have also launched exporting the SBOM in SPDX and CycloneDX format. Let me just use a sample application here. Docker is my favorite. So if I just pick up one of the Pet Clinic Docker app and go to the SBOM menu, I can quickly export it in the relevant format that I prefer to. So this is all already available to all the customers of JFrog Cloud, and you can leverage our reporting capability to have these reports generated for your teams. The last but not least, we also have on-demand binary scanning. So if you have a local build that you want to quickly get a scan report for and doesn't want to publish these artifacts into Artifactory, so this is where you can upload the artifacts and get a quick scan results for. We have a lightweight CLI tool using which you can perform the scans and download the scan report, both in the CLI interface as well as the Xray UI. Now, let me switch back to the presentation and talk about what we have discussed so far. Just a sec, there are too many windows. So just as a quick recap, in our current demo, we have looked at various Xray and Artifactory basics. We have looked at how to create an Xray policy and watch, generate a report from Xray for security compliance or licensing, and also how to export the SBOM, which is the software bill of materials related to a given application or artifact or binary from Xray using the UI. By the way, we also have very comprehensive REST API coverage in terms of Xray as well. So you can perform all of these operations using REST API, or we also have a Terraform provider to manage the configuration of the JFrog platform, both in Xray as well as Artifactory, that you can use for automation. So the existing Xray is now being enhanced with one of the newer capability wherein we started detecting malicious packages as well. So more recently, we have seen dependency confusion. We have seen a lot of existing trusted libraries due to typo squatting or due to various other sets of mishaps. We are seeing that malicious packages are also entering into the developer's workstation as well as ultimately into the organization's CI/CD workflow. So in order to make sure that our customers are much aware of these malicious packages, we have extended the support for malicious packages detection for our existing JFrog Xray customers. SBOM export, we have looked into it. We have also looked into how we detect the vulnerabilities and licensing issues, as well as the operational risk policies that we have defined. I'll be shortly switching to the demo unit and showing you the violations that are created inside Xray for the same watch that we have created previously. And we'll also look at some of the additional advanced capabilities shortly. Now, when it comes to onboarding and implementing Xray, what I recommend to customers is to look at their entire DevOps workflow and think about both shifting left as well as shifting right and securing the entire SDLC lifecycle stages with Xray. So this is where this 12-step diagram summarizes various workflows that we provide and the tools that we have to onboard Artifactory and Xray. For example, starting from the left, we have the developers, and they mainly consume the dependencies from various public registries directly. Right? This is the traditional or the common problem that we see with organizations trying to implement the software supply chain security. Here, as I recommended in the first section of my presentation, creating a remote repository inside Artifactory and blocking the internet connection to the developer's workstation and having them consume all the dependencies through Artifactory will be a first and foremost step that you can enforce to get visibility into the open source component that are being consumed. Keep in mind, you don't need to block download of any artifact that is malicious or vulnerable or license incomplete in the first stage, because you don't want your development activity to come to a complete halt. We're just getting visibility here by caching the open source components that the developers are requesting before even they commit the changes into the version control system. So this will be a good shift left capability, as well as an early access information that your security administrators can leverage. Now, we also have IDE plugins and on-demand binary scans, Git scanning capabilities that are available. We can scan every pull request coming into the developer's source code or version control system and showcase the scan results for each pull request, as well as our utility also creates new pull requests with the fixed versions that are available. So all of these capabilities are currently available within the JFrog platform for all Xray customers. So if you are looking to access them, we will be sharing some resources towards the end of the webinar that you can utilize. You can also share it with your developers. Now, the next step is the CI/CD phase, right? This is where all of the commits are captured by the version control system, and that's when the automated builds will be triggered inside your CI tool. In terms of support for CI tools, we have plugins for Jenkins, TeamCity, Bamboo, Azure DevOps, in case you are using Git, GitHub Actions, GitLab CI, Circle CI, any CI tool, even a customized homegrown CI tool that you might be having in your organization, you can integrate it with Artifactory and the JFrog platform, so that every pull request or every request to fetch a dependency goes through Artifactory's repositories. So this way, the builds are much more faster because you have a local source within your VPC or within your build systems that is serving the dependencies that your CI tool is looking for, rather than going all the way to the internet to fetch the given package. And you are not imposed with any download throttling or restrictions anymore, because you have a localized source from which you are consuming the dependencies from. And even if the public registries are offline or you don't have access to them anymore, you can still continue your development uninterruptedly, because we have this all the dependencies captured inside Artifactory. Now, this will also help you with enforcing scans as a part of the build process. You can utilize our plugins and API and CLI tools to invoke a build scan within the pipeline and trigger the fail build capability. If the given build is found to be vulnerable or non-compliant, immediately you will get the alert and the build will fail to get promoted to the further upstream environments. So to talk about this, I'll be quickly switching to the demo unit. So here I have a Jenkins instance, and currently I'm building a multi-tiered Docker application, and I have enabled the Xray scan as a part of the pipeline. Now, all the build info metadata, as we talked about, will be captured by Artifactory and will be maintained inside the JFrog platform. And Xray naturally utilizes this information captured by Artifactory while showcasing the results about the given Docker image. For example, here I can see all the security issues related to the given Docker image. I can click on a given violation and I can see the various information points that are captured by the JFrog security team. Just a quick reminder, we have achieved the approved CNA status who can publish new vulnerabilities into the NVD database. So this is a recent achievement that we have for our security team. So now you get visibility into all the latest and greatest security information on what kind of vulnerabilities are detected and found out by our security team, and additional information or details around how to fix or remediate the given CVE is also captured as a part of this information feed that we maintain. As an Xray customer, you will have dedicated access to our JFrog research team's database. So you can see that we are actively contributing to the community and flagging various open source packages that are found with recent vulnerabilities. We also stay on top of various zero-day vulnerabilities as well. So we are launching quick utilities that you can use, as well as you can upload these packages, your builds into Xray, and get the in-depth information, everything included as a part of the Xray service. So that's where, for the given CV that I'm looking at in the demo unit, I can have more additional details on why the JFrog security team has marked this violation to be critical, and the various reasons. For example, the exploit has been published and it is publicly available for anyone to utilize, right? And there's a big explanation available, and it can have severe impact because the attacker might gain remote code execution through this CV, for example. We also showcase the impact path. For example, the given open source component web MVC is part of a jar file. That jar file is being packaged into a checksum layer, which is part of the Docker app, which is being produced by the Docker build step 3B, create Docker multi-app number 120. So this is how we maintain full traceability and full system of record, and we enhance the impact analysis that Xray provides by using this information. We visualize the path of impact as well. Okay, so these are some of the newer benefits that you will have access to, and the remediation techniques as well. We provide both deployment mitigation techniques as well as development mitigation techniques whenever applicable, so that you can review it and share this information with your developers. When it comes to the licensing certificates, again, you can find the list of the open source components and the licensing associated with them. I'll skip through this because we are reaching almost the end of the time that is allocated. We also have operational risks that are available for you to review. For example, the cadence and the various violations that are created and the risk associated with these components. So this is where you can also see the powerfulness of our deep recursive scan, wherein you can explore every layer, your business logic layer, base OS layer composed of Debian Linux, application layer composed of JDK and Apache Tomcat, and the subcomponents present in each of these layers, and their security status can also be viewed in one single glance using our Dissonance tab. So this is where you can also explore our deep recursive scan results. Now, you will also see the published modules from the given build, the build conditions that have been used to create the given Docker image, so that you have the full system of record. You can also calculate the diff between the builds to see what artifact layers or dependencies have changed between the builds, or the tool set that has been changed between the builds. And you can also explore the software bill of materials that our CLI tool or the plugins have captured, including the version control details. So we are basically ingesting all the information and making sure that Artifactory is the single source of truth for your entire binary lifecycle management system. So let's go back to the presentation and talk about the newer generation of Xray capabilities that are introduced. Now, if you look at the typical software development, just an SCA tool that can capture the open source components and their licensing, security, and operational risk details might not be good enough to secure the enterprise grade applications, because ultimately these applications are packaged into a Docker format, and then there's a infrastructure as code automation that basically deploys it into multiple environments, whether it might be QA, staging, or production. And at every stage, you need to make sure that all your non-code issues basically related to your service configuration, some of the best practices around not ingesting or not embedding your API keys, security secrets into a given package is also something that is quite essential with the modern application stack that organizations are using. That's where we have launched the JFrog Advanced Security Pack, which includes these 5 new capabilities that can secure your software supply chain beyond a basic software composition analysis. So here is a quick description on each of these capability. The first one is the infrastructure as code scanning capability. We launched support for Terraform scanning. We scan your state files currently, and we are currently supporting AWS, GCP, and Azure-based Terraform templates. We have introduced secrets detection. This is really important because a lot of times, even with all the best practices embedded into the shift left best practices, we still see binaries, open source components, multiple enterprise grade software that is published to the internet still contains API keys, secrets within these binaries. That's where we see that there's a lot of potential for data leak. Potential attackers can use these secrets to gain access to various enterprise assets and capture the information. We have seen this with the recent Microsoft attack as well. And this is where our newest generation of JFrog Advanced Security tool can capture these secrets, scan for the patterns of various secrets and keys that we have access to through various partnerships that we have, as well as the database that our security research team is developing. And once we peel the given artifact or given Docker container, we are actually going through every layer of the artifact to see if there is any secret embedded within the first party code or within the configuration file of a given Docker image. Just a quick reminder, all the JFrog advanced security features are mainly focused towards containerized applications, because we see that this is the ultimate format in which customers are deploying the software, testing the software, and delivering it to the end customers. So this is where we get the full context on how the given application is being exercised or being utilized in your organization. So when it comes to the Docker contextual analysis as well, we basically identify not only just the vulnerable component, but we actually try to see if the vulnerable function within the vulnerable library is being exercised in a way that is potentially impacting your organization or not. In that way, we actually can let you know that even if there's a vulnerable artifact found or a vulnerable dependency found in your given application, if it is not impacting you, you don't need to prioritize the given CV or fixing the given package. You can prioritize the ones that are highly impacting your organization, that are highly potentially exposing your sensitive information in the first place. So for example, one another example that you can take is if a given vulnerable library is running on a certain port, but the Docker configuration basically blocks the communication to the given port, then you are not actually impacted by the given CV. So these are all the various logic that we use internally to figure out if a given CV is applicable to you or not. And we actually give you the breakdown on why a given CV is applicable or not. So you can read the description provided by the JFrog security research team to decide what to do as a next step. And most popularly, we also see that sometimes it might not be the open source dependencies that your actual first party code consumes, but it might be your framework or application that has been misconfigured to allow certain insecure connections or weak encryption suite that might make your application vulnerable. So we actually detect those service misconfiguration and application exposures as well as a part of the latest JFrog advanced security offering. So let's go ahead and take a look at these capabilities in action by switching to the demo unit. Again, all of these capabilities are already available and GA'd for our cloud customers as a first step. This will be soon launched to the self-managed customers as well. So please stay tuned if you're on the self-managed side. or if you're looking to move towards cloud sooner or later, this is the best time to evaluate our JFrog Cloud offering. So I just logged into the JFrog platform and go to the scans list menu option that is available. First and foremost, we will take a look at a sample infrastructure as code backend file and look at its state file and its scan status. So let me just go into the IAC tab here, because this is where we'll see the various shortcomings in the configuration of the given Terraform template or the Terraform state backend. Here we see that authorization is not enforced on all AWS API gateway methods. This is the exposure that we see. To make sure you have access to the text, let me zoom in a little. So right now, our scanner has detected that the authorization is enabled as none right now on the line number 18. That is really not good, because we recommend you to have authorization for every API gateway, and the possible options that are available is AWS IAM, Cognito User Pools, and Custom. And what are the potential reasons, or what can happen if you don't do this? We also list out that information, and what are the steps that you need to do in order to get away from this exposure or shortcoming that is detected in your IAC template. You can find all the information here. You can see that we are recommending you to switch the authorization to AWS IAM in this case, or typically how this change will be reflected through AWS CLI as well. We have a deep dive example that is documented here. Now, similarly, if I go back to the scans list and go to one of the containers and its scan results, let me look at HF4. There are totally 76 policy violations found in it. I can also access the SBOM for the given Docker container, excuse me. But let me go ahead and drill into the various security issues and the additional information points that are captured by the JFrog Advanced Security pack. So the first one is the malicious packages. Again, this is available for all the Xray customers who have access to the regular capabilities. So here, this is the Echo Power package that is found with malicious activity present in it. This is something that our security research team has gathered the information from publicly available databases, and they have also done some deep dive analysis to showcase what can be the potential issue and what are the various ways in which this can be exploited. We also have the remediation step, basically to uninstall the Echo Power using the pip installer, and at a bare minimum, what is the publicly available information in the NVD database or some open source database that is also available. You can see the clear distinction how JFrog security research team is enhancing the information that is publicly available and adding additional insights that we found internally. You can also see the impact path that we already explored, how the actual open source component is being consumed, and various other public references as well. Now, if I go to the vulnerabilities tab, the next capability that I want to showcase is the application contextual analysis. There's a new filter available wherein you can see only the alerts that are applicable to your given organization. So if I click on this given CV, it will not only show you the regular CV research that our JFrog security team has done, but also the contextual analysis breakdown. Why we certified that this CV is applicable to your organization? Because the here in this case, the YAML full load flag has been used, which will expose all sorts of vulnerability associated with the given package. Whereas on the contrary, if you have a different CV that is not applicable, you can also see the contextual analysis breakdown as well. Okay. So this is how we enhance the information, as well as we help you stay on top of these alerts and address the ones that are most applicable to your organization in the first place. The next one is the secrets detection. So here we can see that various alerts have showcased plain text API keys, hard-coded buffers, as well as self-signed certificates, expired certificates found in your given Docker package. So if I click on one of them, you can actually see the pattern and the line number as well that further gives information or insights to your developers on how they can fix this and what kind of information can be exposed by using these type of keys, and various information is also available so that your developer is also aware, not just your AppSec teams or your security administrators. So this is basically getting everyone into the same page and sharing a common information base through a regular source of software package management, which is your Artifactory. So everything is available within the existing JFrog platform. That's the key benefit that you need to take a note of. Similarly, as I talked about application and service exposure, in this Docker container, we have various applications that have been misconfigured and needs to have attention to. So you can see that the Python application do not enforce TLS version to be 1.2 or higher. This is a best practice that the industry has moved towards, wherein it's a minimum requirement to stay above TLS 1.2 that the given application is not following, right? So Node.js application does not enforce the TLS, for example, and various other information points are also available for you to review. Again, malicious code is currently in the works, malicious code detection. That's why I'll skip that part as of the moment. But all of this information is available for you to try out and get some hands-on experience with, including the descendants tab is also made available in the Artifactory or the JFrog platform UI. Now, I would like to take a quick 2 minutes to summarize that the topics that we have discussed today. We have looked at how the JFrog platform can be helpful in getting full visibility into your software supply chain and perform basic analysis on various security issues, licensing issues, and operational risks associated with your given artifact. We have looked into how to configure various policies and watches that can start monitoring every environment, every application, every team in your organization, and trigger alerts, both in terms of actions, alerting, as well as automated actions to do the DevSecOps gatekeeping in your organization. And then we have moved on to looking at some of the JFrog advanced security capabilities, wherein we have looked into how JFrog can detect your secrets, how it can detect various application and service misconfigurations, infrastructure as code shortcomings, and also how it can provide you with in-depth contextual analysis using which you can prioritize various CVs. So all around, we are binary centric and software supply chain gatekeeping enablers for any teams that are looking to develop software at scale. So having everything at one place, having a common platform for your AppSec administrators, developers, and DevOps engineers is going to make the entire workflow much more smoother. And because our scans are continuous in nature, you don't need to worry about any future issues that are found in your artifacts as they move through the SDLC lifecycle stages. Even after they're deployed into production, we keep you on top of these alerts. And we are also enhancing our shift left capabilities by providing developers with more toolset, Git scanning capabilities, IDE plugins, on-demand binary scanning CLI utilities that they can use to get very early on insights about open source components and the risks associated with them. So that concludes my presentation. Hope you have enjoyed the information that I've shared, and looking forward to try out our JFrog cloud platform. These are the links that you can use to start getting hands-on with our JFrog advanced security. We'll also share some resources post the call to you guys. So let's see if I can answer a couple of questions that we got on the chat. Rebecca, do you mind
Sure.
Questions.
Our first question is, can you expand on standard format?
Sorry, I think I lost the audio. Rebecca, can you repeat for me?
Sure. Can you on SBOM standard format?
Yes. I guess the question is, can we export the SBOM in a standard format? Yes, we support exporting the SBOM in Cyclone DX and SPDX format right now. We are also looking to support more formats as well as they come in and get standardized. But so far we see that SPDX and Cyclone DX are popular in the customer base, and we are supporting it.
Great. Last question.
Okay, so I see one in the chat. As a developer, I'm already forced to do SonarQube scan and OWASP scan. What additional info can Xray provide? So if you look at it, there are some code quality scans. There are some open source software supply chain related scan results that you are having access to, but you are using two different tools to perform this operation. What we are looking to achieve, again, once we start supporting the malicious code as well, you might need to completely deprecate both the other tools that you're currently using. What we are trying to do is have one single solution that covers the entire software supply chain. So by using JFrog Xray and the advanced security capabilities that it has, you are basically consolidating the information that you usually get from 2 or 3 different tools, depending on your security team's recommendation, under one single platform. Okay.
Our next question. When will the advanced security features be available for self-hosted environment?
Yes. So currently the ETA for JFrog advanced security features for self-managed customers is Q2 2023.
Great. Thank you. And in terms of recordings available, yes, we'll be able to email you after with a recording. Do we have any more questions?
Okay, looks like it. And we are on the top of the hour. So thank you everyone for your time today. I really appreciate the audience and the interactive questions that we got. Looking forward to the next monthly webinar. Thank you for joining.
Thank you all.